We need to talk about this. I think that this is the biggest topic, in my opinion, for people. I do want to get your perspective. There's a lot going on with the Iran war. We were heading into the year very optimistic with interest rates around 6%, because this time last year, interest rates were around 7%. So there's the most, would you say, the most optimism in the air that we've felt in a long time?
Absolutely.
Post-COVID.
I feel like we're seeing, if the property's in a real desirable area that is popular, for particular buyers, we're still seeing multiple offers. He had a buyer that was in escrow. Him and Blake, his partner, had a buyer that was in escrow on a property 3 years ago in Rossmore, backed out, and have been on the fence for now 3 years.
Yeah, I know these stories.
Now he's missed out on $400,000 in equity, and now he's kicking himself, and
I know
he's looking in a much different neighborhood now.
I'm here today with Sarah Ireland with Ignite Real Estate
Group.
Based
out of Los Alamitos.
Based out of Los Alamitos.
Mostly we sell in Long Beach, Seal Beach, Cypress, and those areas.
Yeah, but you're like that area in Long Beach in general and surrounding areas, Los Alamitos. You're kind of like a generational real estate family, aren't you?
I am a third generation realtor, but my father is in Northern California.
Oh.
So he's the CEO of a association in Northern California.
Is he really? So he lives up there?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
He's down here quite a bit.
You guys have the same brand
times.
And brokerage and all that?
Yeah, he's my broker of record. But he's down here a lot, like twice a month.
To do business or?
Manage the brokerage and make sure everything's going well and, broker, outreach and things like that. So he comes to a lot of our events.
I don't know how what your dad's age is, but it sounds like this is his sense of purpose, what keeps him going.
Yeah, so he
doesn't want to golf all day?
72. And I never could see him not working. It's so weird. And now he's talking about in 3 years retiring, and that shocks me. I'm like, what are you going to do all day? Go to Home Goods? I don't know what you're going to do.
Does he golf?
No. He does, but he's not good.
It's not good.
He's not passionate about it.
Sorry, Dad.
Yes, definitely not passionate about that.
Yeah,
but he loves real estate.
I'm not a golf guy.
Yeah, and he likes just doing stuff.
I understand. The older I get, my kids are like 12 and 14, and I'm like thinking about 10 years from now when they're like a little bit more independent. I'm thinking to myself, I don't know that I am going to have any desire to slow down with work because what else am I going to do? Right.
Well, we have such great flexibility in our job.
Oh, yeah. Once you figure out how to be an entrepreneur,
yes.
It's the figuring out how is the hard part.
Well, I think what realtors and lenders, and they don't know how unless they've been taught how to run it like a business. So if you haven't run it like a business, it's hard to manage that where you can still pop in and out and have a flexibility. But if you're running it by the seat of your pants, it's a little chaotic.
It's true, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Mentorship changed my life.
Yep.
So it sounds like you may have got that from your dad.
Yeah, I did, but I also had an amazing partner, Heather Burke, before she retired.
Okay.
And we were partners for many, many years, over 12 years.
You would say she taught you quite a bit.
She taught me how to run it like a business.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to do it.
Yeah, I was clueless too.
Yeah.
If I didn't meet my mentor, I worked with him for 9 years. He made a man out of me, you know, not just
whipped you into shape.
Right, totally. I actually got in the best physical shape of my life because of him too.
Oh, hey.
But eventually figuring out how to run a P&L.
Yeah.
And, it was a struggle when I was on my own. We're 7 years in, almost 8 years into that now. And I've kind of got it figured out, right? But it's really hard. I don't think people realize being in real estate, the amount of responsibility and heaviness of not having benefits, salary, or your guaranteed paycheck.
Oh, yeah. I just had lunch with a few members that wanted to sit down and talk about leadership opportunities at PWR. And they're all very busy agents in our local community in Long Beach, Los Al area. And I asked them, what do you guys spend on marketing every year?
Yeah.
And I told them, and they were like, what I spend.
Yeah.
And I told them what I spent, and they were like, what?
Yeah.
And I go, well, yeah, don't you guys have a spreadsheet where you just know? And they're like, I have no idea. I never keep track. Can you send me your spreadsheet?
Yeah.
And I was like, sure, it's not like rocket science.
No,
it's just keeping track year after year. And I've actually saved money in 2025, but they had nothing to go back. I'm like, if you go back and you add up all that stuff, I bet you spend what I do or more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, guys, there's something called AI now.
I know.
But I pay my accountant $500 a month to do this. At the end of every month, we have a reconciled financial statement and balance sheet, and you need to know how to use it and read it and all that stuff. Because I know it sounds cliche, but if you don't know your numbers, you really are, like you said, flying by the seat of your pants.
Yes. And it's not a great way to set yourself up for success.
I think from 20 to 30 and maybe even 30 to 40, you can get away with that if you're a one-man show. But the moment you start like building out a team and ops and all the other bells and whistles that you see here, it's like you kind of have to. You mean
putting a whole studio together? Because this looks super inexpensive.
Yeah. I found most of this stuff on IKEA's website.
No, you did not. It's beautiful in here.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I kind of had a vision for this to be. I don't know. It just feels like most real estate offices don't have this level of quality for if they want to do social media. Plus, they don't know where to get started. They don't have a producer like Corey. They don't have quality equipment that's plug and play. Like you can come here as a realtor for referral partner and not have to have it all figured out. Right. And I do see some makeshift type studios in real estate offices, but not to this level. So we kind of wanted to become the hub for LA and Orange County real estate.
I've been on a few podcasts now, and this is by far the
sweet
most professional setup I've seen.
Corey, see, we're doing something right.
She's making you look good.
Yes. Well, she's the brains. I'm the brawn. I don't know. Well, let's segue back into Long Beach real estate. I do want to get your perspective. There's a lot going on with the Iran war. We were heading into the year very optimistic with interest rates around 6% because this time last year, interest rates were around 7%. So there's the most would you say the most optimism in the air that we've felt in a long time?
Absolutely.
Post-COVID.
I feel like we're seeing, if the property's in a real desirable area that is popular, for particular buyers, we're still seeing multiple offers. And
as of today, I'm actually curious. Have you noticed any shift because of the geopolitical issues, or are you seeing?
I see a little bit of a pause and hesitation with buyers, a little bit like what's going to happen, or things going to change. We kind of want to wait and see. But the buyers that have been waiting and seeing for 6 to 8 months, they're jumping in. They're
ready
done.
to go.
Yeah, we're done waiting. Whatever. Yeah, nothing's changed except rates got better. They're jumping in. But we're still seeing multiple offers on certain homes in Long Beach.
And what's your advice, out of curiosity, to folks who are, back on the fence because of things that they don't control?
Well, for instance, just talked to an agent today. You might know him, Matt Welch. And
hey, Matt.
Shout out to Matt, president-elect of PWR
That's right.
next year.
We just interviewed him, as you know.
Oh, yeah.
You watched that?
Of course I did. It was
Pretty
great.
cool, right?
Yeah, it was really cool. Yeah, no, that was super fun. And he had a buyer that was in escrow. Him and Blake, his partner, had a buyer that was in escrow on a property 3 years ago in Rossmore, backed out, and have been on the fence for now 3 years.
Yeah, I know these stories.
Now he's missed out on $400,000 in equity, and now he's kicking himself, and
I know
he's looking in a much different neighborhood now.
We need to talk about this. I think that this is the biggest topic, in my opinion, for people, because it's always like, the main thing I'm noticing that drives people with not executing, not buying a home is fear.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Right?
We do it.
We have a lot of these stories, though, don't you?
Yeah,
like people
absolutely.
who are on the fence and wait however many years and look back and say, oh, my God, I'm $500,000 poorer because of that.
Exactly.
And we're not even accounting for the tax deductions, principal reduction, and the fact that you could have had pride of ownership owning a home rather than dealing with a landlord.
Oh, absolutely.
Sometimes
it's the fastest way to grow your wealth.
Yeah. Right? The paralysis by analysis piece is a real problem in our industry. And I get it. Social media, everyone's a real estate guru, Uncle Bob, Mom. Oh, no, it's fear, right? You don't know what to believe. But I had a similar story with a somewhat recently graduated college graduate. This was pre-COVID, 2019 or 18. And I'm meeting with mom and dad, retired corporate executives, and they were like in a position to give her $500,000 to buy like a $900,000 place at the time.
Oh, we all need one of those.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Or I'm like, oh man, slam dunk, right?
Yeah.
2023, they finally bought a home, right? Oh my God. 5 years later, but ask me how many times I wrote a pre-approval letter, how many numbers I ran, and I was telling them, hey, you should probably stop doing it this way. And I think the same house in 2023 was like appraising for 1.6, right?
Gosh,
so it's like, what?
Yeah.
You guys are going to outsmart yourself.
I know. There's so many factors to that, though, is like, did you have the right person advising
I
you
know,
as
I know.
the realtor.
Right.
Sometimes it's just the buyer itself.
How do you contend with that fear? Because I know, like, some first-time homebuyers need a push, right? Not like a inappropriate salesy,
No, yeah.
take them by the neck and I would need my commissions. I'm not saying that, but when you see someone's controlled by fear and it's preventing them from living their life, what do you do?
I'm just constantly like, we're in Southern California. When you're watching the news and they're showing Middle America or somewhere talking about all this inventory and prices coming down and blah, blah. I'm like, we live in Southern California.
The most desirable place on
Orange County, LA County. Like, who doesn't want to live here?
Right.
They're not building anything.
Right.
So all of our prices are just going up and up and up and up. It's crazy. I mean, it actually is mind-boggling to me. But even me personally, like, have this very low interest rate.
I know.
And I would love to move to a different community.
You're feeling
stuck?
stuck?
I feel stuck. I'm my own worst enemy right now.
I know. Well, I mean, at the same time, you could always convert it to a rental if you wanted to and all that. But then you're pointing to something that probably is a bit of a resistance point for who we're talking about.
Right.
The reason you're not is not necessarily just that you would be giving up your 2% or whatever rate. It's also elevated interest rates, prices, property tax, homeowners insurance, So I understand why they don't to a certain extent, but they're also not looking at the big picture because I guarantee you 10 years down the road, they're not going to be saying, I wish I didn't buy that home.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Fixed housing costs, 30-year fixed. Property tax is Prop 13, so rarely moves. Only variable is homeowners insurance. And yes, that's not going well right now, but it's also a smaller piece of the pie.
Right.
So, and then your wages go like this for the next 10 years while your fixed housing cost stays here. Hello, that's just how it works.
That's why we always tell our clients, you get approved at here. We know you don't want to pay that as your monthly payment, but you really should stretch yourself as far, because your income is just going to go up. Yeah. And you're fixed.
So how are you handling buyers who, want to finally jump in and they find the first property they want to make an offer on and they're like, I want to offer $50,000 under? What do you like? Are you running into that still, or like?
Not really, not as much.
They're following your lead.
Yeah, they are. They're listening to the agents. Also, obviously, we communicate with the listing agent as there are multiple offers. Then you can kind of gauge. You guys are gonna have to go at least full price, or maybe even above. Yeah. But I don't. My particular buyers I feel like are pretty knowledgeable, and they listen. Yeah. They're not doing the low ball.
Well, you instill
stuff.
Confidence too.
Yeah, Well, I want them to trust me. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to lead them down a path. Right.
Right. And the fact that your reputation is so good in your local marketplace, how often would you say you already know the listing agent on the other end?
Oh, 80% of the time.
Right. That goes a long way.
Relationships, everything. Mm-hmm. Yep. It's everything, especially in Long Beach. It's a tight community.
And you mentioned multiple offers. Like, how many multiple offers are we talking?
I'm not seeing like...
I know it's not every property, but...
we're not seeing like 5 to 10. I'm seeing like 3, 2.
Got it. Okay.
But we are seeing a higher fallout of escrows.
Can you point to why?
I think nervous once they get...
because of what we were talking about earlier?
Yeah, insurance. They get their monthly payment, hadn't maybe looked at the interest rate in a couple weeks. They get the monthly payment. I had somebody open escrow on one of our listings, and they backed out within 12 hours. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, but luckily we had another offer, and we were able to, be prepared. Yeah. Yeah, and I also think that when buyers kind of panic and buy quickly, this particular one was like rushing to write the impulsive. Yeah. Then they have like a night to sleep on it. They got the night to sleep on it, and then they're like, oh, maybe we shouldn't have gone for that.
I still think they should follow through, though.
Oh, absolutely.
Even with the cold feet like that. Oh. That's a kind of a natural feeling for most first-time buyers, especially. Even seasoned buyers are like, oh, did I do the right thing?
Yeah. Buyer's remorse. Remember how much we saw that during COVID?
Totally.
Oh, my gosh.
And everyone was rewarded for sticking with it. Yep. Like for me, when I bought my first home, I was crying out of fear when I realized my offer got accepted. Oh, no. But I'm glad I stuck with it. Yeah.
You're like, I'm going to eat top ramen for the rest of my life.
Yeah, you just want to know you're going to make it.
Absolutely.
But I do think fear shouldn't be the driving factor. Condo market. How's Long Beach going?
Well, I've sat on 2 I don't know if you've seen it, but I've been on 2 condo panels for Long Beach Broker.
Oh, that's right. How did
Preview.
that go, by the way?
It went great.
Yeah.
Pam Sommerfeld does a great job at picking the right people
panelists.
Yeah. She had Scott Brady.
Non-nincompoops.
He's very knowledgeable on HOAs, and she does a great job. But it was great. And the condo market is inventories very high in Long Beach. Mostly balcony issues that we can't
SB
get around.
326, yeah.
Yep. And then insurance. And then when you dive into it, they're underinsured. There's no low reserves. Read those minutes. There's going to be an HOA dollar increase monthly,
Have you seen a well-run HOA, or like, what is it? Like, who's...
No, they're like...
Is this the property management company? Is this the HOA board? Why can't...
It's all of it together. I think it's just they are complete. I mean, they're volunteers most of the time, the board. And so I just think they just are kind of status quo, and then a big needs a roof.
They're not paying
and
that close attention, right? So they're in reactivity mode rather than getting ahead of the mode.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's really painful.
It is, and it's hurting a lot of the sellers in Long Beach, and we're having to get really creative with loans. I mean, how many have I called you on buildings in downtown
We're
Long
always
Beach?
checking for you.
Yeah.
Here's the catch-22 with this, though. When is the best time to buy? When blood is in the streets, right? Yep. So, like, the counterintuitive thought around condos, in my opinion, like, if you can't... We have ways to get financing, non-warrantable condo financing, where they're okay with the SB 326 or litigation or whatever, insurance issues. And then it's like penny wise, pound foolish, because the moment I say 7%, they're like, oh, I don't want it. It was like, okay, but you're getting it at a price you wouldn't have gotten otherwise.
Exactly.
And then, by the way, a year from now, SB 326 will be a distant memory for 9 out of 10 complexes. Why? Because they'll have all gotten their act together eventually. Okay, well, fine. Insurance slowly but surely works itself out too. And then what happens? You refinance into regular financing, and then what happens to property values?
Exactly.
Like, in my opinion, people are looking at it the wrong way, because this is an opportunity to buy with leverage, ask the seller to credit, this, that, and another thing. It's like, hello, take advantage of it.
I think it's a huge opportunity.
Yeah.
I think that getting the financing is just on some of these buildings.
It's available, but whether or not someone can accept that it's not going to be the creme de la creme of interest rates.
You might pay a point higher.
Everyone wants to have their cake and eat it too. It's like, no, know why you're doing this. You're getting in at the bottom of the market in a condo complex.
And we have this amazing condo for sale right now in a community in Long Beach, and it's known for having just horrible HOA management, like just run poorly. They're not getting their act together, and we can barely get showings because of the reputation just that it has, even though we're seeing them sell in there. I saw an FHA close today, a VA closed yesterday. So they're starting to move again, which is giving me hope that, okay, maybe people have wrapped their head around the condo market a little bit.
FHA and VA are a lot easier to deal with on SB 326. It's Fannie that's really uptight. Yeah.
I know.
FHA doesn't even ask the question, has there been any inspections on their HOA questionnaire? They don't even ask.
Sign me up.
Yeah. So FHA word to the wise. It's Fannie that's a big pain in the butt. But like I don't know if it was you. Was it you guys where we got a listing removed from Fannie's blacklist because they were asking for insurance that didn't exist?
Yes.
You remember that?
Yes. And we closed it.
Yeah. There you go.
And on time.
Right.
Yeah.
So you can't just always don't judge a book by its cover. Right. You actually have to do some homework, and that's where we come in.
Well, and was one of the questions on the broker preview panel is that what can the agents do to prepare themselves for when they do take a condo listing? And I said, do your homework. Do everything in advance and partner with your lender.
How many agents are going to do that, do you think?
Well, I gave them the advice. It'll probably be no one, but
I do find it fascinating that there's not a lot of getting ahead of it work on condos in particular, right?
I agree.
I got a buyer that landed in her lap who's VA. The day I was introduced to them is the day they got into escrow on this condo. And so I'm looking at the complex, and it's, of course, not VA approved. And I called the listing agent. I'm like, you accepted a VA offer on a project that's not VA approved. Oh, really? But
you didn't check?
Right. And VA is a lot easier to work with in a lot of situations. So we were able to get it done within the escrow period. But it's one of those things where I'm like, guys, it's an HOA, insurance, SB 326, all the stuff with management. What's in the meeting minutes? Are you reading the meeting minutes?
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Like, you actually do need to pay attention.
Well, we were telling the agents that were in the room that day that you actually have to do your job. Read it.
Right.
Don't just pass it to the buyer. Read everything. Kelly, my business partner, is really good at the details. Yeah. I'm not so good at that. Yeah. She's phenomenal. So I think you need a second set of eyes.
Of it,
too.
But you're at a stage in your career where you don't have to do it.
Maybe.
I'm telling you, though, we're trying to train a new executive assistant that I'm sharing with somebody. And she sends me this duty enroll thing and schedule, and a lot of it's like not relevant and stuff we wouldn't want her working on. So I'm like, I'm not reading this. So I just I put it in AI.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, this is what we want her doing. This is what we don't want her doing. Can you identify what works and what doesn't within this giant PDF that I'm not going to read? Right. And then give me an email response that says why, and I'll review it. And like, one thing I'm going to point to for agents is like, use artificial intelligence. You know, if you got CCNRs, minutes, bylaws, like, and you don't want to fine tooth comb and do the forensic thing, just use AI.
Yeah. One problem, like, there's so many things about AI. I feel like it's been such a conversation for so long.
It's just like, it makes me more efficient. That's
Absolutely.
all.
For business practice, like for that kind of stuff. But NAR just put out a stat, and I hope I'm not getting it wrong, but it was like 50% of information regarding like comparables and things like that agents are using when they're writing offers. They're using AI. I'm baffled.
You do have to read it.
Yes, you have to actually...
Garbage in, garbage out.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
And so that it's wrong and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And, a new trend we're seeing, and actually when I just talked to other agents about this, is younger, more proficient in AI, maybe they're not younger, but just people that are a little more proficient, more than me personally, are putting the home inspection reports in AI and asking for repair costs.
Oh, fascinating.
So you end up getting like somebody submitting a $40,000 request for repair, and you're like, did you even have a plumber come out?
It's paying attention to everything. And like, it's,
there was no roofer. There was no plumber. There was no, handyman. I'm like, no one even came out. So that's the thing. Like, we say artificial intelligence is supposed to be an enhancement, not a replacement. Exactly.
Right. Like everything that I send out, I've noticed these days with AI, if I'm dictating an email, because I don't feel like typing something big, long email,
sure.
I'll dictate, right? Just voice. And my prompt is, hey, don't rewrite what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Okay. I want you to edit it lightly so that you have punctuation and grammar right. I don't want you to rewrite what I'm saying.
Right.
And then I proofread it and I send it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that kind of stuff is fine. Having, an LOA duty, a role thing that I was telling you about earlier, having it organized so I don't have to like really get weird with it, that helps.
Yeah.
Enhancement. But like uploading a credit report or a home inspection, no, you got to do some professional work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think realtors right now rely a little too heavy on it. It's like,
yeah. And I think that maybe one day we can rely upon it to the point where we don't have to think about it.
Sure.
But it's interesting that, so did you say PWR is coming out with statements around AI, or who's talking about that?
So DRE is.
Okay.
And I believe there's a working group at CAR and NAR for it.
Speaking of,
to make sure we are all covered.
Did you go up to Sacramento with Matt?
I did. To the gubernatorial.
Can we just talk about where you find the time for all this stuff, by the way?
You know what? I don't have the time. But I do have one off to college already, and I have a senior. My senior is very busy. So
athletics too, or?
Yes. Yeah, she was cheer captain at St. Joseph's.
So, but you're going to all these different things then, right?
Well, she just finished.
Okay.
So if they finished the season, like just in the last 3 weeks. So I've had more time. And so, but I also value my role at PWR, and I want to be involved.
Why are you so passionate about it?
I love giving back. It's something that my father did. Growing up, I went to CAR meetings with him.
Really?
And,
no wonder you're
college.
president today.
Oh, yeah, went to college. And even as I was married and working at, I worked at Main Street for a long time. I worked at Coldwell bought Main Street, and so we transitioned. Yeah, right. I still always went to CAR meetings before I was even a CAR director. And I watched my dad give back and do all that and serve on committees. And it's just something I wanted to do. I have high passion for CAR.
Yeah.
Passion. And PWR, obviously.
And you feel like that comes back to you, or do you just do that because it's something you're passionate about, period?
You know what? I like having the knowledge, the amount of things.
A lot of education.
The education. You hear it first. That's where you're going to hear it.
So,
and I bring it back
about
to our
not reacting,
community.
getting ahead of it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I bring it back to the community, and I have lunch with my different friends, in the community, and I tell them things, and they're like, "Whoa, we would never have known that."
So
they rely on it.
So now you're an authority figure for the community in real estate.
Well, they just text me and they're like, "Sarah, we need to know the latest of this. What's this? What's the new Sierra MLS rule?"
But these are clients, basically, right? Like these are potential clients or our clients that you're talking about.
Mostly other agents and then clients, yeah. But a lot of the information about advocacy, what we do at, CAR, people don't get it.
No, I
what your
don't
money,
get it.
yeah, the Realtor Action Fund, it's super important to be donating to that. We fight all these propositions that come up. And the nice thing about the realtors is we call ourselves the purple party.
Yeah.
Because we're not
In between.
right in between.
Yeah.
Everything's, bipartisan.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone agrees on more housing.
Anything we should be
anti-housing?
paying attention to on legislation right now?
Oh my God.
Like top 3 or something like
So
that?
many things. Well, one of the things that I know, nationally they're trying to do is get our property taxes or our capital gains, not property taxes from, 500 for a married couple to $1 million.
And this is at a state level?
No, this is
or
national, the federal.
You're trying to do federal, yeah.
And then, have you heard of this?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, $500,000 tax exclusion versus they're trying to get it to $1 million.
Yes.
Which would make sense, like the inflation that's taken place.
I don't even know the
Right.
actual number, but it hasn't been relooked at since I want to say 1990 or
But
something.
the thing is, why wouldn't they have put in a clause that had it adjusted
And
for inflation
I
over
don't
time,
Yeah, I don't know. I know. There's quite a few things to. Obviously you're catching me off guard right now. I need my advocacy
Tell me everything
list.
you know.
I know. I need my advocacy list in front of me.
I told you I was off the cuff.
I know. I know what I told you. I didn't prepare anything.
I knew that you were a good conversationalist. You're
Yeah.
PWR president. You've been at this for a long time. Sometimes I don't like to go into things overly prepared,
Yeah, I agree.
That's just
It's
me.
easier.
I
Yeah,
figure
more
it out
natural.
as I go. It's worked for me so far.
Yeah. But I think that's huge. I mean, we could start moving some houses here.
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. I mean, that would open things up big time. Do you think there's an actual legitimate chance that has a...
Yeah, I do.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Do we know when that's going to a vote?
I don't.
Okay.
I think it's this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be fantastic.
I mean, they've been working. I mean, this has been talked for what? Just 2 or 3 years now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for your work, and I'm going to continue to say if you need good sponsors and good partners for PWR, I'm here.
Oh, thank you.
I can do more than just look up your condos.
Wonderful. We have our membership meeting tomorrow.
Give me some notice. I do have a team, and I can send somebody if you'd like.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm willing to have that conversation if you think it would be helpful to have me around. But I do want to just, in closing, talk about, you're obviously a successful agent, part of a generational real estate family, But that being said, there's plenty of people who are part of generational industry families that aren't successful. So what would you attribute your success to? Like for the agents who are up and coming, it's different generations, social media and all that. But like, what would you point to that had you making progress, like being successful in general?
So the hardest thing for me was that even though I'm, third generation, that was in Northern California.
Different market.
Yeah. So I'm down south, so I had to start from scratch. So
where did that look like though?
It was hard.
Yeah.
I was a fashion merchandising major at Long Beach State. Graduated, got my first job offer.
49ers.
Yeah, that's right. Go Beach. And got my first job offer. And it was $35,000 a year, and I had to drive to LA. And it was for CNC California t-shirts, if anyone remembers
Ignorance
that.
is bliss. Those drives. I don't know how we did it back then.
Oh my gosh. I was and I already was working at Nordstrom at the time as a manager. And so I called my dad and I said, Dad, what am I going to do? Getting married in a few months, and I don't want to be gone all the time.
Yeah.
And, he's like, Sarah, it's easy. Go into the family business. And I was like, really? I'm so young. Who's going to hire me?
So what, were you 22, 23 at the time?
I was 23. Yeah. Got my license. I was pregnant.
That is a baby.
Oh, I was 22 when I got married, but 23, I was pregnant. And that's when I got my license. And I was like, none of my friends are buying houses. We're all poor. And all I did every single weekend, even up to 9 months pregnant, is I sat at open houses. But it was easier then. Now with the buyer broker, I think that inserts a challenge
The buyer broker agreement.
for new agents.
Yeah.
Because most of these, I was just talking to Matt about this.
Because they
today.
all have these agreements signed.
They already have these agreements signed, or they should.
Does that take away the power of sitting at an open house, do you think?
I don't know, because we still pick up buyers at open houses that, are just looking, out looking. But I would say 80% of them now
Have buyer broker agreements?
Yeah.
Really? Can you fire one?
That's between them. Not involved.
I'm
Not
just
getting involved
curious.
in agency. But if they did fire, their agent, then they can obviously go hire another agent. But yes.
Yeah, I didn't even think about it from that perspective. A lot less strings attached during your area of your up and coming
So
period.
it was a lot easier, and I did it every weekend, and everybody I sold a house to, I did not know previously, and then I built that up for 5 years of straight open houses every weekend, and my husband was a rock star. Watch the kids.
That's so cool. So you represented them on the buy side.
Yeah,
And
but
then
after 5
the listings
years,
come at a certain point.
Yes.
Yes.
Because
interesting.
I since I love you so much, but I don't represent a ton of buyers.
Yeah.
I do a lot.
Sellers become buyers.
They don't leave the state. All mine are leaving the state.
If they go to Idaho, my partner runs a branch for us in Idaho.
Good to know.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Actually, I knew that.
You know Morel.
Yeah. Matt, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Howdy, Matt. I have a Matt, too.
His mom, you have a Matt, too. We both have Matt.
Yes.
His mom was a teacher, actually.
That's right. You all know each other.
School. But yeah, nonetheless, I feel like it was a little easier when you were picking up buyers at open houses back before.
So would your advice change today?
All I have to say is you have to work hard. And I do think that agents think that they're going to get hired by a brokerage and they're going to get all these leads.
Do you think like a young agent should join a team, or like what should they be doing?
A young agent should join a brokerage that offers a lot of training and guidance. Teams, I personally, that wouldn't have been for me to join a large team. I wanted to learn quick and on my own. And
How did you get the mentorship you needed?
I always had my dad.
Oh, that's right.
So I always had someone to lean on.
No wonder you didn't need to be a part of it.
Yeah. And I don't know. I was always self-motivated. I have a really good friend. We're still really good friends. And she's a realtor. And she used to say to me, Sarah, how do you get motivated to do what you do? And I'm like,
this is what you do.
I was like, and she's a really good top producer. And I said, the getting paid motivates
You do have to be money motivated.
Yeah.
Yes.
And she was like, oh, I always have to go to all these like motivational events and speakers. And,
Is she younger than you?
No, she's about 15 years older than me.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it?
People are motivated differently.
Yeah, everyone's got a different type of drive or sense of purpose or why. I can relate to your friend from 20 to 30, maybe 35. But for some reason, something switched after around 35 years old. I'm 42 now. Yeah. Where I don't know, like I'd rather be working.
Yeah.
It's like it doesn't occur to me that when I was a younger person and it was Christmas-ish time and I'd have this longing to be away from the office and be in holiday mode. Now I'm like, oh, it's Christmas?
Yeah.
I know. It doesn't even.
Oh my gosh.
Like, oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Merry Christmas, right?
I know.
But like for me, I don't know why that shifted in me, but I do think sometimes it's like when there's ownership and you're building something that's greater than just yourself, that sense of purpose becomes a little bit more meaningful than just being a salesperson. I don't know.
Well, it's so
I can only
funny.
speak for myself.
Well, and Kelly, my partner, she's so good at open houses because she's like been my partner now for almost 5 years, and she's like, talking to people and doing thing, and I'm like, man, I kind of suck at open houses now. I'm kind of like
practice.
After 35, I just kind of like was
Do you even want to be doing that though?
I mean,
don't you want to be doing listing appointments and all that?
I like listing appointments.
It's not like you have all this time in your hands to sit open houses anymore.
Gosh, no. And I value my family time.
Totally.
But on yesterday, it was just yesterday, we got back from. I was doing a thing all day, and I got home at 2 p.m. Got a call from a referral. Hey, can you go meet this client? They're in town. They need to meet you by 4 p.m. It's St. Patrick's Day. We thought we were going to have plans.
Yesterday.
Yeah, it was yesterday.
So you were okay saying yes to that? Or
absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll cancel a plan for a listing appointment or a buyer appointment. I would cancel all day long. I hear you. Most agents wouldn't.
Yeah, I hear you on that.
And I drove to their house, and they were like floored. I had the full presentation ready for them. And
well, the thing is, I think what you're doing is you know that you're going to do a good job. You know that you can help these people, right? And there's a difference there because I can relate to what you're saying. Mm-hmm. You get a call on the weekend. Oh, this situation, we need immediate attention. What do we do?
Yeah.
And it's like that. It kind of feels good actually, where you're able to jump in and say, oh, this is what we do, this, that, and another thing. And then like the nerves calm and then you earn business. Yeah. And it feels great.
And they're so grateful that you were able to help their family right away.
Plus you're not hungover.
and I stayed home. My husband barbecued.
Yes, right?
Just the three of him and my other
Silver
dog.
lining.
Yeah. He was very happy to not go out.
I think what you're pointing to, though, is like you really have embraced and embodied being a realtor.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because that comes with the territory. And the more you resist, oh, gosh, I gotta... Well, leading with that energy in this industry is going to come with a certain result, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And it's not like you have to drink too much Kool-Aid or not have any boundaries. I'm not saying like be a workaholic, but at the end of the day, if you work hard, you can also play hard. And why can you play hard? Because of the hard work, you have the means to do it.
Well, it was so funny. My very first house I ever sold was on 4th of July. guess what?
There you
Guess
go.
where everybody was? Out partying it up.
Of course.
I'm at home with a newborn. And I'm like,
Well, kids is another story.
yeah. And I went over, we showed it, we wrote the offer, they accepted it
Yeah.
that day. It was great. I
Yeah.
was like, you got to be willing to sacrifice in this business.
Anybody ever approach you to go work with you and have you as a mentor, or is that not something?
All the time.
Okay.
It happens often.
And?
I always say I'm probably not your best resource for the mere fact that we just never know how the day is going to go. And I'm
Yeah.
like, you might be with me for 2 hours, then I would
Yeah.
need you to come back in 3 hours.
Right.
It's just not consistent.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Just being around it, though. Like my mentor let me shadow him for 1 week.
yeah.
1 week. And I worked with him for 9 years.
Yeah.
After the first week, he's like, I'm like, what do I do now? He's like, pick up the phone.
He's like, fly, baby bird.
yes.
Go.
I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not saying like people should come and glob onto you, but even just to work around you and see how it's done at a high level is what's really cool.
Yeah. I've just always said, I don't know. I don't know if I'm a good fit because of our schedule.
I don't know.
It might just me being me and wanting to be solo.
So last thing, then we can close it out. Let you get back to your day. PWR. Do we want to host a podcast for PWR through this studio or what?
Oh, absolutely. Who wouldn't want
That'd
to?
be
It's
so cool.
absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We want to become your resource.
Yeah, we would love to.
Yeah.
We actually have a studio or had one, and we need to get it all zhuzhed up here, but that's in the works too.
Cool.
Hopefully at PWR to do something similar for our members.
Corey does on-site stuff for that purpose
good.
too.
We'll
So there
get
you go.
her information.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah. Well,
Sarah
thank you for...
Ireland, thank you so much for joining me. I feel very honored. You're like royalty.
No, I don't think
Long
so.
Beach, Los Alamitos, generational real estate family. Here you go.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was fun.